Discover the 10 money-making plants you need to know about. Most growers default to corn, soy, and a few familiar herbs because they know the system, plant the acreage, hope for decent yield, and sell into a crowded commodity market. But what if that same patch of land, or a few greenhouse benches, or even a set of tanks, could produce crops that command specialty prices because buyers value quality, traceability, and consistent supply? Today, I'll walk you through 10 high-margin plants that fit small footprint production models and clear buyer routes with the price bands, the demand drivers, the production realities, and a practical first step for each. No hype, no promises of guaranteed income, just the market facts and tactics you can act on. You don't need more acres, you need different crops and smarter buyer relationships. If you want more actionable farm-to-market guides like this, hit like and subscribe. There's a lot more practical strategy coming. Number 10. Lemon balm, a backyard herb that premium tea and wellness brands pay for because of aroma and calming associations. Dried process typically seen around $8 to $25 per pound, depending on cut and leaf quality. Demand comes from herbal tea blenders, boutique calming tea brands, aromatherapy product formulators, and small-scale extract houses. Lemon balm is a short-lived perennial in temperate climates, easy to grow in beds or containers, and responds well to repeated harvests through the season. First harvest in about 60–90 days on cut-and-come-again systems. Production notes. It likes full sun to light shade, fertile soil, and clean drying to preserve volatile oils. Yield per bed is modest, but you can stack multiple cuts per season. Quick start tip. Pilot a single raised bed under shade cloth. Harvest a first batch small scale, dry on a low-heat forced air rack, and reach out to local tea blenders with a small sample and a clear traceability sheet. Risk. Essential oil loss from improper drying or long storage can hit price. Put systems in place for fast drying and moisture testing. Here's the catch. Buyers pay for consistent aroma and clean, low-mold leaf, not just bulk weight. Number 9. Fenugreek, a spice and functional ingredient that serves food and supplement markets. Dried seed prices commonly range roughly $2 to $6 per pound, with ground or specialty processed seed commanding higher retail multiples. Primary buyers include specialty spice importers, ethnic and gourmet restaurants, plant-based food formulators using fenugreek for flavor and functional claims, and supplement brands that use it in blends. Fenugreek is an annual. It matures within a single season and can be grown in rows or containers for micro-acreage production. Production notes. Seeds need dry down for storage, and consistent seed color and flavor profile improve buyer interest. Quick start tip. Trial a small seed batch. Ensure gentle drying and cleaning to avoid mold, and approach specialty spice shops or local ethnic restaurants that value freshly sourced spice. Risk. Seed contaminants and inconsistent moisture content can lead to rejection by spice buyers. Invest in basic cleaning screens and moisture meters. Why buyers will pay a premium. Clean, freshly processed spice with provenance is rare in many markets. Number 8. Ashwagandha, a multi-year root crop that attracts supplement formulators and premium herb houses. Dried root is commonly reported in the range of $20 to $60 per pound, depending on root size, active constituent testing, and organic certification. Demand drivers, the supplement industry, adaptogen-focused functional beverage brands, artisanal herbal blends, and international buyers seeking authenticated sources. Production notes. Ashwagandha is a perennial to biennial root that typically takes 6 to 12 months to produce a usable root, with higher yields and potency emerging on multi-year stands. It prefers well-drained soils and a dry finish before harvest. Quick start tip. Start with a small bed to test local adaptation. Focus on organic or low-input methods to appeal to supplement buyers, and secure pre-arranged purchase agreements by offering lab testing or batch certificates. Risk, it's a multi-year crop with slower cash return. Pair it with fast-turn herbs while stands mature, and plan for post-harvest drying and root grading. This is a time-as-moat crop. Once established, multi-year roots create a supply advantage for committed growers. Number 7. Stevia. Intense sweetness with a small footprint and high-value extract roots. Stevia leaf for drying commonly sees a wide range, often $50 to $200 per pound equivalent when you account for concentrated extract value. Bulk dried leaf is cheaper, while purified extract formulas command the highest prices. Primary buyers are specialty natural sweetener companies, formulators of low-calorie foods and beverages, natural sweetener extractors, and DIY herbal suppliers. Production notes: stevia is a tender perennial in warm climates or a greenhouse annual elsewhere. It takes a season to establish and is sensitive to frost. It thrives in bench or container culture with consistent moisture and benefits from succession planting for steady harvest. Quick start tip: focus on producing clean leaf with consistent sweetness profiles. Work with a small extractor or co-packer to create a sample extract to show buyers, and target natural foods formulators that value traceability. Risk: extraction quality and consistency determine value. Raw leaf without processing is harder to move at premium prices, so plan a post-harvest partnership with a processor or invest in on-farm drying and pre-processing. Why buyers will pay? Stevia's sweetener function is in high demand, where sugar reduction is a selling point. Traceability and consistent sweetness profile are the premium drivers. Number 6. Calendula, a flower crop that crosses beauty, wellness, and culinary markets. Dried flower petals commonly range roughly $8 to $30 per pound, depending on grade. Infused oils, salves, and cosmetic-grade extracts can multiply value considerably. Buyer types include natural cosmetics formulators, artisanal salve, and skincare brands, herbal tea blenders, and culinary artisans looking for visual and flavor accents. Production notes: calendula is an annual with quick turnaround, often ready in 8 to 10 weeks from transplant for first blooms in a well-managed bed, and it responds well to staggered planting for continuous harvest. It performs in outdoor beds, high tunnels, or greenhouse systems. Quick start tip: grow 2 small beds, one for fresh flower sales and one for drying, and offer small batch infused oil samples to skincare makers. Grade petals by color and cleanliness to capture premium pricing. Risk: petal discoloration or contamination with dirt lowers grades quickly. Harvest and handle gently. Dry on a single-layer mesh rack and avoid wet weather harvesting. This one pairs perfectly with greenhouse winter crops or as a fill-in crop between slower perennials. Number 5. Catnip, a surprisingly specialized market tied to pet boutiques and aromatherapy. Dried herb commonly sells in the range of $6 to $20 per pound for clean leaf. Value-added catnip toys or essential oil formulations command higher retail multiples. Buyers include boutique pet retailers, cat toy manufacturers, herbalists, and small-batch aromatherapy makers. Production notes: catnip is a hardy perennial in many temperate zones, easy to grow in beds and containers, and can be cut multiple times a season. Quick start tip: pilot a small quantity of hand-dried clean leaf and approach local pet boutiques and Etsy sellers who make cat toys. Offer small sample packets and co-branding opportunities. Risk: botanical identification and contamination matter. Buyers expect clean leaf free of pesticides and foreign matter, so organic or low-input practices plus clear labeling help. Why buyers pay? Pet-focused stories and the nostalgia factor often let small producers capture direct-to-consumer premiums. Number 4. Tulsi, holy basil, a versatile herb with culinary, tea, and wellness demand. Dried Tulsi leaves commonly appear in price bands of $8 to $20 per pound, with organic and specialty chemo-type batches fetching more. Demand drivers include herbal tea brands, adaptogen-focused blends, specialty restaurants using micro-herbs, and cosmetic formulations with botanical positioning. Production notes. Tulsi is a short-lived perennial in subtropical climates and an annual in temperate zones. It can be grown in beds, greenhouse pots, or as potted retail product. Quick start tip. Focus on clean, whole-leaf drying to keep aromatic compounds intact, and approach tea blenders or local cafes that feature herbal infusions. Offering a small-batch traceable Tulsi blend can open doors. Risk: color degradation and loss of aroma during drying. Reduce price. Dry quickly and store airtight. This one's attractive because it overlaps tea and culinary markets, giving multiple buyer paths. Number 3. Duckweed, the pond scum crop that is actually a high-turn, protein-rich product with industrial applications. Dried duckweed is commonly reported in a $20–60 per pound range for high-quality, food-grade material. Feed-grade material trades lower. Buyers include aquaculture operators as a protein-rich feed, specialty pet food formulators, niche human food processors exploring novel protein sources, and research institutions. Duckweed production is very different. It's an aquaculture crop grown in tanks or ponds, capable of multiple harvests per week under ideal conditions and extremely high biomass per square foot. Production notes. Systems range from simple outdoor ponds to indoor tank farms with controlled nutrient inputs. It requires water quality control and post-harvest quick drying to lock in nutrition. Quick start tip. Begin with a small tank system to master nutrient balance and harvesting technique. Dry rapidly with low-temperature forced air and connect with local aquaculture farms or pet food formulators who need reliable, traceable protein. Risk: contamination by algae, pathogens, or heavy metals can ruin batches. Implement strict source water testing and closed-loop nutrient strategies, and check local regulatory requirements for food or feed-grade production. This is the one NASA studied for closed-loop life support. Research-backed interest plus industrial buyers make it a unique small-footprint earners. Number 2. Moringa, a multi-market leaf and powder crop, prized for nutrition and shelf-stable convenience. Dried leaf powder commonly ranges roughly $6 to $25 per pound, depending on grade and processing. High-end, certified organic powder aimed at wellness brands can approach the upper end. Buyers include natural supplement formulators, powdered superfood brands, juice and smoothie companies, and functional food manufacturers. Moringa is a small tree that matures quickly in tropical and subtropical climates. In milder zones, it can be container-grown or treated as an annual. Production notes. It's essentially a multi-year asset once established, with repeated leaf harvests that produce high cumulative yield. Post-harvest processing, washing, blanching, low-temp drying and grinding is critical to preserve color and nutrient profile. Quick start tip: if you're in a suitable climate, start with a few standard cultivars, invest in small-scale drying and milling, and approach smoothie brands or co-packers who can use small, traceable lots. Risk: poor processing leads to dark, low-quality powder that fetches commodity prices. Focus on clean handling and color retention. Moringa gives you longevity in the field and multiple product options from leaf to powder to pressed oil, making it a resilient revenue stream when paired with faster turn crops. Number 1. Sichuan pepper, a spice with booming culinary demand and a high per-pound retail value when properly processed. Dried Sichuan peppercorns often land in a broad range that can reach $20 to $100 per pound for high-quality, freshly processed kernel and peel combinations, especially for boutique importers and gourmet spice shops. Primary buyers include specialty spice importers, artisanal condiment makers, high-end restaurants, and companies producing Sichuan-style blends or numbing chili oil. Production notes. The plant is typically a perennial shrub or small tree in suitable climates, producing harvestable berries annually. It prefers well-drained soil and a few years to reach full production. Quick start tip: establish a small orchard with proper pruning and canopy management. Ensure fast post-harvest processing to prevent loss of the aromatic husk, and target specialty spice houses or direct-to-chef sales with premium, traceable lots. Risk drying and dehusking correctly is crucial. Mishandled fruit loses the sesame-like aroma and numbing quality buyers pay for. Also, in some regions, there are regulatory or import sensitivities. Check local rules before scaling. Here's the catch: when you can supply clean, freshly processed Sichuan pepper with provenance, chefs and specialty retailers will pay for both flavor and story. Across these 10 plants, you'll notice several recurring realities. Traceability and post-harvest handling directly influence price bands. Multi-market demand reduces single-buyer risk, and pairing crops across timelines smooths cash flow and accelerates buyer relationships. Quick reinforcement: buyers pay more for consistency and clean processing than for raw volume. A pound of well-dried, clean calendula or properly processed Sichuan pepper can outperform a much larger quantity of low-grade commodity herb. Now let's pull this together into how you choose and act. First, match crop to climate and footprint. If you have lots of sun and a longer growing season, moringa and Sichuan pepper are compelling multi-year plays. If you have greenhouse benches or a small backyard, stevia, lemon balm, calendula and tulsi are fast to market. If you have even a single lined tank or pond, duckweed opens a high-turn industrial route. Assess your water availability, frost dates, and the practicalities of post-harvest processing. Some crops require careful low-temperature drying. Others need rapid cleanup and grading. Second, balance timelines. Pair at least one fast-turn annual with any multi-year stand. For example, while an ashwagandha patch is establishing, plant lemon balm and calendula in the rows between or in nearby beds to generate near-term cash and buyer introductions. This pairing reduces the psychological and financial strain of waiting for slow crops to mature and also helps you build a sales track record. Third, focus on post-harvest systems from day one. Buyers consistently reject lots for moisture, mold, discoloration, or foreign matter. Invest in a basic forced air drying rack, moisture meter, and airtight packaging. For powders and extracts, work with a local co-packer who understands small batch handling, so your first sales are professional grade. For duckweed and moringa, that means considering blanching and rapid drying to retain color and nutrient profile. For spices like Sichuan pepper, proper dehusking and sun or kiln drying preserves aroma. Fourth, target buyer archetypes early and work on relationships. Send samples with clear provenance notes, where it was grown, when it was harvested, and how it was handled post-harvest. Buyers want reliable supply, quality documentation, and the story, whether it's small batch, organic, regionally traceable, or a specific chemotype. Approach local boutique tea blenders, regional cosmetic formulators, pet boutiques, high-end restaurants, and ingredient brokers. One small, well-packaged sale can open recurring orders. Fifth, manage risk and regulations. Check local harvesting, processing, and sales regulations for human food, feed, or supplement-grade material. For duckweed and moringa used as human or animal feed, water and soil testing and traceability are non-negotiable. For exported spices and herbs, understand packaging and phytosanitary expectations. I'm not giving legal advice, just flagging that regulatory requirements exist and should be checked before scaling. Operational quick wins. You can implement this season. Pick one crop that matches your climate and capacity, set up a basic post-harvest workflow, drying, grading, packaging, and secure a local buyer willing to take a trial lot. If you're hedging, Pair a long-term asset like ashwagandha or moringa with fast-turn herbs like lemon balm, calendula or tulsi, so you're not cash flow constrained. A short playbook for the first 90 days. Choose your crop, produce a small trial run, even 10-50 pounds dried, depending on crop. Document everything, seed source, planting dates, harvest dates, drying method, and use that trial to approach at least 3 potential buyers with samples and a clear price expectation. Track feedback on aroma, color, and moisture. Iterate the next batch based on real buyer input. Final operational note. Quality often requires additional labor, careful timing, and attention to detail that commodity crops don't demand. That extra work is why buyers pay more. Don't skimp on cleanliness, drying, or packaging. Traceability and small batch consistency are your competitive advantage. To recap, these 10 plants, lemon balm, fenugreek, ashwagandha, stevia, calendula, catnip, tulsi, duckweed, moringa, and Sichuan pepper, offer paths to higher per-pound returns for growers willing to prioritize quality, processing, and buyer relationships over simply chasing acreage. Each plant has distinct production needs and market routes. The right choice depends on your climate, time horizon, and the buyers you can reach. Drop in the comments which crop you'd start and what's standing between you and planting it. I'll read a selection and follow up with tactical answers and resources to help you get started.